Before the Coffee Gets Cold is a book you can read while you sip your coffee. At least that's what the characters in this book are doing. So what's the tea? Hi, I'm Amanda, and this is Spineless Books, your one-stop shop for all things audiobook. So, Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, I had to double check that, is a Japanese novel, a cozy novel, a short novel that's all over the place. It's sold over 1 million copies. You'll see it everywhere in bookstores. The cover is basically iconic. So what's the story behind this book, and is it really worth it? So the story follows a small cafe in Tokyo where really not much is going on. It's been there for over 100 years, and if you walk in and have coffee, you wouldn't notice anything. But if you are sort of in the know with the cafe, you would know that there is actually a possibility of time travel from one of the seats in this coffee shop. So there you go as far as what makes it unique. Now, structurally, the book is divided into 4 separate stories. There are some common characters between the 4 stories, but they are characters who generally are either employees or regulars of the coffee shop. But each of the 4 stories centers around a completely separate character. So I'll be honest, it took me a little while to thread the idea that some of the characters were consistent, and I didn't catch on that right away. I really was like, oh, a new story with new people, but there were some people who were through lines. I think the best way to describe it is that if you think of the cafe as the through line character, that's really the way to go about it. The only other book I can think of that's done something like this is Northwoods. Northwoods basically takes place at one location over centuries. I believe it's centuries, might be just decades. But the location is the central character that doesn't change. Other characters kind of come in and out of that place. And it's similar with When the Coffee, or Before the Coffee Gets Cold, that the cafe is the place that characters thread in and out of. I'll be honest and tell you that I got a little bit more into it as it went on. I found the first 2 of the 4 stories a little bit boring. The third one got a little more interesting to me. I liked the last one the best. I didn't really feel like I was enjoying the fact that it was 4 small vignettes. I don't like the idea of a novel that tricks me into reading short stories. That's really what it felt like. I want to read one long story, otherwise I'll pick up a short story anthology. So that part bothered me just a little bit because I felt kind of hoodwinked by it. I felt a little bit as though the characters were complicated. I definitely found myself reading summaries after I finished each section. I was like, wait a minute, I just want to make sure I'm clear on exactly what happened here. And there were a few times where I had either missed major pieces or I just didn't catch correlations between things. So I found the book a little confusing at some moments, if I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think it was my attention span. Usually I can feel when I'm really not digging into a book and I'm just kind of listening to listen, and I don't think that's what I was doing here. I just feel like I missed a lot of the major connective threads. With that said, even though it's complicated, I feel like the rules of time travel as they were established were laid out so simply and clearly that it was almost silly. So it's interesting to me that a book could be so architecturally complicated and also have real simplicity to the plot. So that was a little odd to me. I guess it just felt cliche. I've read cozy books before, I've read translations before. I didn't really feel like I connected with it in either way. So this book to me was kind of just a dud, which I didn't expect. As far as narration is concerned, Irina Yi narrates. She's okay. She's not great. She's not terrible. She's really sort of easy to ignore a little bit, if that makes sense. There was, in fact, actually a point in the book where, not the book's fault, my fault, but I fell asleep while I was listening. I really work hard to make sure that I am attentive when I'm listening to a book, and if I feel myself starting to fade a little bit, I'll stop because I don't want to miss stuff. But I did inadvertently fall asleep at one point, and I backtracked about 20 minutes, which turned out to be the time I had missed. And even though I had missed a piece of the book, I hadn't really missed anything. So that was kind of a surprise, because usually when I backtrack because something like that happens or like I'm distracted, I realize, oh, I'm really glad I went back. But with this, I was like, Oh, I could have just gone forward. So I don't know, folks. Can someone tell me what they love about this book? Did I miss something? I just feel like this wasn't the book it's hyped up to be. I was really excited and I really felt like I was going to love it, but it didn't do it for me. So let me know in the comments if there's something that you think I missed, because I am absolutely happy to hear why I am wrong about this one, because it would help explain why it's so popular and I disliked it so much. So remember, you might love what I hate and hate what I love, so make your own opinion and share your opinion with me. But thanks for listening to mine. I hope you like and subscribe. Follow for more, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.